What's up, you guys? It's King Tony. You can find all my social media outlets. It will be in the description box below. Now, this is my top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time. This is my opinion. This is my list. Don't get mad. If you got your own top 10, put it down in the comment section. I would like to see. I'm going to start off with number 10, and that's John Cena. I've been a fan since he did the Thugonomics, you know what I mean? And his career took off. I think after, I would say, he had dope matches with Carter Angle and Taker when he's on SmackDown, but I felt like his career didn't really take off when he went to, when he drafted to Raw back in 06. That's when his career started to really take off. And then, he got injured maybe like around 07, 08. And he had came back. Like, no one thought he would come back that fast. And that's how he had came back in 2008 Royal Rumble, and he won the whole thing. But been a fan ever since. I didn't like how he won the second Royal Rumble just to face The Rock the next year. Because I feel like they could have gave that to somebody else. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's definitely one of the best to do it. And I think I don't know, because like I'm such a Ric Flair fan. I don't know if he should break the 16-time world champion. Like, I don't think he should break it. I know he ties it, but I don't think he should break it. You know what I mean? I think Randy Orton should be the one to break it. But Cena's definitely will always be my top 10 because of the longevity that he has had in the business and the classic matches. A lot of people don't give him credit for the classic matches that he's had. With Brock Lesnar, Extreme Rules match, I think at Extreme Rules at 2012. Matches like with AJ Styles at SummerSlam, or even the Royal Rumble. A lot of people don't give him credit for that. There's other matches it's not coming to me at the moment. He had a TLC match, but I don't know what pay-per-view he had it. He had it with Edge, but I don't remember what pay-per-view was it, but I remember the match. He had a TLC match with Edge. I think that's a classic. And then, of course, The Rock at WrestleMania back-to-back. I always prefer the second one. The second one was better. There's another match I'm trying to remember, but he has other classic matches. A lot of people don't give him credit for. I feel like Cena's one of those. He's gonna be one of those wrestlers where you might talk trash because you might like him, and you like talk trash. But when he retire, that's when you're gonna really miss him. I think that's what's gonna happen, because they don't really hate Cena. Because you saw the reaction when he had came back for Roman Reigns. Like, people went nuts. They don't really hate him. They just hate him because it's a trend, or like it's fun to hate him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, for number 9, I got Edge. Edge is one of those characters where you hated him, and you didn't know why you hated him. You just hated him. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you look back on the business, and you realize that he was a great heel, you don't really hate him. It's just that he played a heel so great, you had to hate him. You get what I'm saying? And Edge was like, like one of my favorite promos, or funny promos from Edge, is the promo that he had with Cena. And he's like, I just don't like you. He's like, I hate you. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. Like, he was going off. Like, he just going crazy. And he's like, I hate you, everything you stand for. I was like, this dude is going crazy. You know what I mean? But he played, I think he's better at heel. You know what I'm saying? He could play face and heel, but I feel like, for me personally, I feel like when he's heel, he's at his best. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they call him the Rated R Superstar. You know what I mean? He plays his best when he's at heel. When he retired in 2011, I was so heartbroken. I was like, damn. Like, that shed tears. I was heartbroken because, and I was even heartbroken when I heard the Hall of Fame speech, because you know, his mom worked so hard, being a single mom, working two jobs just to, you know, provide for him. And that speech broke me down. I was like, damn, because I can see myself, him, you know, my mom working hard. You know what I mean? So that was really emotional when I watched that speech, and just seeing him. And then 9 years later, when he had came back, I'm like, oh shit! Like I didn't see this coming. No one did, and I'm glad that COVID. I'm so glad COVID didn't mess up the return, because most of the time when returns happen, most likely we're gonna know that that somebody's gonna return to the Royal Rumble or any pay-per-view. We're gonna know because of social media. But I'm so glad that they wasn't able to let nobody know that he had came back. Like, keep it a secret. I'm glad they didn't let nobody know. And when he had came back, I was at home. I'm watching. I don't know what number he had came in, but when his music hit, I'm like, I lost his shit. I was like, oh my God, like what? Like I didn't know about this. No one knew. You know what I'm saying? And it was in Philadelphia, and people went crazy. So, yeah, man, he's definitely one of the GOATs. And just his origin story, just for him to come back, and to still wrestle, man. He looked like he's in his best shape. He looked like he's in his best shape. And classic matches with Randy Orton, of course, Cena, Taker. I know he's good friends with Rey Mysterio. I know Christian, of course, him and Christian had like a classic tag team, you know. But he's definitely in my top 10 forever. And the most, he's probably had the most championships out of anybody. So he's definitely my top 10. Number 8, I will have Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is something special, man, and I wish he was still here with us, man. Eddie was so special. I remember just watching him in the early 2000s, and just the way he would maneuver things, and he was so smooth, man. And like, one of my favorite matches from him is probably with him and The Rock on Monday Night Raw, when I don't know how he did it, but somehow The Rock was gonna rock bottom him, and then he ended up reversing it and turned to an arm drag, and it was so dope, man. And you know, he was so smooth with it, and he was able to control the crowd, and he was, the thing is with Eddie too, he was a face and a heel. For me personally, I feel like he's good as hell, but for me, I like him as a face, because when he won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar in 2004 at No Way Home, I said No Way Home, No Way Out, it was special, man. And to see that, and especially with him dealing with his demons, it was very hard, man, very hard. But he still made it through, and he was the face of the company. No, I don't care what nobody say. At that time, in like early 2000s, Eddie was that dude, man. And I wish if he was still here, Eddie would put on some classic matches. With definitely with Seth Rollins. I could see him with Seth Rollins. I could definitely see him feuding with Rey Mysterio again, or even tag teaming with Rey Mysterio. Or I could just see Eddie, Ray, and Dominic just having a trio. I could see that happening. That would be dope. But, you know, things happen, life happens. I really wish he was still here with us. Number 7, I'm going to have Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is one of those guys where he has set the bar so high for luchadors, is that I don't see anybody bigger than Rey Mysterio as far as like a guy with a mask on, to me personally. And the reason why I say that is because when you see a mask, no matter how the mask look like, you always think to yourself, Rey Mysterio. You always think about that. I don't care what nobody say. You're always going to think about Rey Mysterio. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to think about Rey Mysterio, regardless. Because he set the bar so high to the point where it's like, You don't see anybody bigger than Rey Mysterio. You know what I mean? Definitely had classic matches with Eddie Guerrero, um, Kurt Angle, and I feel like also with Rey Mysterio, he he opened the door for short guys, and I feel like a lot of people don't give him credit. You know what I'm saying? He made it believable. You know, he had matches with Taker, and Taker's huge. Taker's like 6'11", and for him to still pull off a great match with tall guys like him, that's going to tell you he's one of the best. And Ray has one of the best interiors by far. Like, that's one of the reasons why I became a fan, because he was able to dress, you know, different styles and different occasions. I remember he had like a Spider-Man mask and a Spider-Man pants. I don't know if it was that debut. I'm not even sure, but I remember his debut. It was July 25th, 2002. That was his debut. But yeah, man, and I've always been a fan ever since. And the thing is, with right now, even when he wrestles, he be wrestling like he been wrestling 20 years now. Like, he still got it. Like, he can still go. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's one of the best. Like, to do that for so long and still look good as you were before. Like, there's not a lot of, like, most dudes, when they get older, you can tell they're slowing down. You know, their body, that's part of life. You're getting old. But with Ray, he don't look like that. He look like he's still going like he's 20 years younger. You know what I'm saying? So he will definitely be in my top 10 forever. So number 6, I'm gonna go with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, I've gotten to watch Randy Orton since I was a kid, all the way up until now. He could play face and heel, but I feel like he's always gonna be good at heel because that's where he started from, I believe. You know, at that time when I didn't have cable, he was on SmackDown, so we had a young Randy Orton, and those matches that he had with Taker, I'm like, yo, that right there is just, that made him better. When he had the match with Taker, I feel like that made him better. And then he went off to Raw. And then he joined Evolution, you know what I mean? And with Triple H, Ric Flair, and Batista. Then, this is like 05, 04. Then he went on his own, still a heel. Then he started to change into the Apex Predator gimmick. And from there, his career took off. That rivalry that he had with Triple H, where he was going off, kicking people in the head, and RKO and Stephanie, I was like, yo, this dude is about to get himself in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? And that, I feel like that rivalry is probably my favorite rivalry, one of my favorite rivalries growing up. Like, for him to just really try to take off Stephanie's head, and then he RKO'd her, then he kissed her. Like, that shit is crazy. So I'm glad that all of that lead up to WrestleMania 25, you know. But Randy's definitely smooth. And a lot of people always say, oh, he a third generation, but he can back it up. Like, you gotta give props, because a lot of people say, oh, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your dad. I mean, that's cool, but at the same time, Randy has proved it, that he's one of the best. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Number 5. Now, this kind of a little tricky, because the last 5 is all from the Attitude Era. So, don't get mad. Whoever didn't make the cut, it's okay. Okay? Number 5, I got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of those guys where he gonna light up a room. He gonna get arenas. Like, that, when that glass shatters, trust and believe, people gonna go crazy. People gonna go crazy. And I can only imagine when he shows up in Dallas. People gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I know that for a fact that he's definitely one of the GOATs. He knows how to cut a promo. You know what I'm saying? And a stunner. My favorite segment from him is probably with him and Donald Trump. And he's like, I don't care if you're $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion, $4 billion. You pissed me off. Like, that scene right there had me crying. But yeah, he's definitely my top 5. So yeah, number 4, I'm gonna have to go with The Rock. For many reasons. The Rock had the mic skills on point. Like, he would roast the shit out you. My favorite promo from The Rock is probably when the one where he kind of promo on Cena. And he's like, you can't see me. You can see me. I can see that. What you doing? Playing peekaboo? Yo, that part had me crying. Like, that one. And then his moves, like the rock bottom. Like, I remember he did a rock bottom, but he did it so smooth. I don't know who he did it to. I think it was it Shamrock? I think it was Kenny Shamrock. I'm not sure. Either him or I remember he did an elbow too. He did a people's elbow to the Undertaker. he jumps over, right? Taker lifts up. And he's like, no, that. He kicks him. He kicks him and pin him. Yo, that part would have me dying. But The Rock is definitely my top 4. Entertaining guy. And he's one of those guys where he was able to leave WWE on his terms and go to Hollywood. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. At that time, the only person that I've seen that done that successfully was probably Hogan. And that was like maybe 12 years before that. You know what I mean? So it's not a lot of guys that could just leave, you know, as one of the top guys and branch off to Hollywood. Number 3, I have Triple H. Triple H is one of the best to ever do it. I just put out my announcement for his retirement. It's not my announcement. I posted a video of his announcement of retirement. Yeah, man, whatever he's done in the WWE, outside WWE, he's definitely one of the GOATs. Like I said before, without Triple H, it wouldn't be a Randy Orton, or it wouldn't be a Batista, it wouldn't be Seth Rollins, it wouldn't be, you know, a Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair. He's helped them out so much and let them flourish. You know what I mean? And yeah, so he's definitely my top 3. My favorite match, like I said before, my favorite match from him is between him and Mankind, and him and Taker and Shawn as special guest referee at WrestleMania 28. So yeah, he's definitely my top 3. Number 2, I have Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was my favorite growing up. You know, kicking dudes in the face. One of my favorite moments from Shawn is when he did the impersonation of Hulk Hogan. Yo, just watching it, and he came out. He came out with the walker. Yo, crying. I was literally crying, yo. Cause that shit was too funny. Like, he literally came out with the walker, and this is the time when he was. I think this is when Shawn was heel. So he had like a quick heel turn. I don't remember what pay-per-view was it, but I remember Shawn turning on him. And that's how he cut the promo on Hogan, and I was just dying laughing. Because Shawn is not really known to be a heel at that time, and he was mostly face during the early 2000s. So, but that promo had me dying. That one, and then the other one when he started kicking everybody in the face, that promo, But the legendary matches that he had with Taker, back to back. What other matches? Him and Brett at WrestleMania. That's one of my favorite matches. Of course, a ladder match with Razor Ramon. Rest in peace to Razor Ramon. Trying to remember what other matches I can think of. I know there's more. Oh, the match with Cena at WrestleMania 21. No, 23 actually. So my bad. WrestleMania 23. That was a good match. A lot of people don't give him credit for that match. And then there was another match he had did with Kurt Angle. I think it was at Taboo Tuesday, something like that. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Shawn Michaels matches too. So yeah, Shawn is definitely in my top 2, man. Definitely. And at number 1, you already know, number 1. Even though Jeff Hardy's my favorite wrestler of all time, but if I had to pick and choose who's the greatest wrestler of all time, it's only one man, and that's Undertaker. That's like when you look at his career and how it unfolded, that like I don't think anybody's gonna beat that. 30 years in the game, 21 winning streak at WrestleMania, a 7-time world champion. Like no one's beating that. To be in the business for so long and to morph all those characters all throughout your whole career, that's not easy. And I tell people all the time is that when you're in this business, you gotta keep refreshing yourself. And Taker did that for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? He did it for 30 years. That shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? My favorite match from Taker, definitely from Shawn Michaels, Triple H back to back as well. I'm still mad about how they made him break the streak, which I'm still mad about that because it's like you could have picked anybody. You know what I'm saying? You could have picked anybody, but you chose Brock. But Taker, man, he's definitely the GOAT. One of the best to ever do it, and I'm trying to remember what other parts. Yeah, Taker's just that dude, man. I don't think anybody can beat his career as far as like, and he set the bar so high. It's like his accolades speak for itself. Like you can't top that. You know what I mean? And he definitely had great moments. My favorite moments when he was not beefing, but he had a rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H, and I think Stone Cold was in the ambulance. He said, "Hey boys," and then he started beating the shit out of them. I was like, God damn. And then I think he had thrown Stone Cold Steve Austin through the glass. This was probably before he got into the ambulance. That he had classic matches with Brock Lesnar. I'm not talking about like when he was the Beast. I'm talking about like a young Brock. You know what I mean? And I remember when he had the chain around his neck. For those who know what I'm talking about, I had posted on my story. The way he chokeslammed Brock Lesnar, that just shows you how good Brock Lesnar sold that chokeslam, because that was a huge chokeslam. He sold that shit perfectly. I'm trying to remember what other matches that he had great. Rey Mysterio, of course, at the Royal Rumble. I think what year was that? That was 2010. He had other classic matches, man, but he's definitely number 1, man. The career that he had. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know how you feel about my top 10. If you got a top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time, put it in the comment section below. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.